Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through this insane medical center receptionist built within Retail AI to be able to handle any inbound calls coming through to a medical center. It can transfer calls to another member of staff, it can book in appointments, update appointments, do whatever you need on that end, plus a whole lot more, which we'll cover shortly. So first of all, we'll just run through the global prompt and the settings on the right hand side here, and then we'll dive into the actual conversational flow and run you through each separate phase of the process. So first of all, within the global prompt, we've given it an identity and then also style guidelines as well. So we've said you're Myra, Retail Health's customer support agent. You're not a real person or a human. You're a virtual assistant. And when asked, please sound like a natural human. You're a pleasant, excited, and friendly team. You're a pleasant, excited, and friendly team member, caring deeply for the patients. And then in terms of the style guidelines, we've said be concise, be conversational, only ask one question at a time, so it's not pestering people with several questions, and it's also able to adapt and guess. So if there's transcript errors, issues within the transcription, then it's able to kind of, not just copy the transcription and sort of think for itself a little bit more. So let's dive into the actual individual nodes and walk you through each phase of the flow. So first we've got the begin phase, which is obviously where we choose whether the AI speaks first or the AI remains silent until the user speaks. So here, because this is an inbound phone calling agent, the AI would speak first. So it answers the phone, it says, hello, this is Retail Health Customer Support Department. How can I help you today? And then based on what they say, it would either relay down the rescheduling path if they need to reschedule an appointment. It would go via the path of, if the user is requesting about a surgery or asking about preparations for the surgery, it will go down that relevant path to answer their questions. If they want to be transferred over to a real person, then it can do that as well. If the user is having a medical condition, some sort of medical issue, it will relay down that branch as well. So first, let's start off with the surgery and preparations for surgery. So first of all, it will check if the user's surgery is within 72 hours. If it's within 72 hours, it will then be able to transfer them to an office to make sure they get the right instruction. If it's not within 72 hours, it will come down here and it would ask the user what surgery they're going through, and then use their expertise. So the agent will use its own expertise to be able to provide preparation tips and ask if they have any questions. Then it will go down here, and if the user's surgery is within 72 hours, it will then be able to let them speak to a doctor and speak to an actual member of the team so they can actually help as well. So after that, it would then go and end the call. And within this step, we've also used a skip response. So it will just tell the user this, and then it will skip. It wouldn't wait for the user to actually, give a response. So it will jump to the next node without waiting for user response. So it skips this, the actual conversation within this phase. It will just present them with this response and then just end the call straight away. That's how this second phase works. If we go down the first transition, so where the user needs to reschedule an appointment, so it'd come down here and it would find out the user's actual name and their date of birth, and then once it's got those details, it will be able to check the appointment details within the system. So it's running a function here within Retail. Now at the minute, this isn't connected up to any kind of system, but it can be within Retail. You can set up functions to connect into different booking systems to be able to check and get appointment details. So here it would check the appointment details. Once it's got the appointment details, it would then tell the user it's retrieved their details and ask them what they need to change. If it doesn't get the appointment details, it will tell the user that we can't retrieve those details, and then they would need to actually make an appointment, right? So it would get those change details and be able to make that appointment for them. So once it's retrieved their details in both of these scenarios, it will then go on to actually update the appointment. And then once the appointment is updated, it will then go and tell the user that the appointment has been updated, ask if they have any other questions, and then obviously answer those questions as well. And then after that, it will go on to end the call. So that's kind of how the second branch works. So on the third transition here, if the user prefers to be speaking to an agent, some people prefer to obviously speak to a human, then obviously speak to the agent. So in this scenario, they would be transferred over to the agent. So they come up here, they'd be asked why they need to actually speak to a representative. If it's a medical question, then it would go down here and it will transfer them back over to actually speak to a person. So it comes through here and it will transfer them over. If it's about rescheduling or cancelling or making an appointment, it would come down here and it would go through that branch that I kind of spoke about before, where it would check for the appointment details, update the details, or make a new appointment if necessary. If they're really persistent on wanting to speak with someone, then it will just transfer them over, because obviously we need to ensure good customer support. Then if the user is having a medical condition, it will come all the way up here. It will check if this is an emergency. If it is an emergency, it will tell them to hang up and dial 911 immediately. And then if it's not an emergency, it would ask the user what their medical condition is and ask what questions they have, and basically provide answers to them based on their questions. And then from there, it would go on to end the call. So that's pretty much how this system works. If you wanted to add more branches to it, then you definitely can as well. For example, handling sales calls or people trying to sell to the business, which is often something which receptionists have to handle. So in that scenario, you can have the AI agent actually collect those details, ask the person to send an email summary across instead of wasting time over the phone, and then basically end the call there. So there's a lot you can do with these voice agents in terms of saving you and your receptionist a lot of time. And ultimately that saves you money, helps you get more bookings, helps you handle customers in any time of the day, because obviously these agents can work 24/7. So there's a lot of benefits by building out systems like these. So if you want a system just like this, feel free to visit the link in the description below. You can check out my free resources if you want this exact system completely for free, or you can book in a call with myself if you're looking for something a little more tailored. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.